How Harley-Davidson became America's iconic motorcycle brand. Spoiler alert, this video will make you cry or maybe be inspired. Why? We're about to go through the history of a favorite brand and dream of many, Harley-Davidson. From its humble beginnings in a small shed to becoming an icon of American culture. Whether you're a longtime fan or just curious about why this brand means so much to so many, sit back and enjoy how Harley-Davidson captured the hearts of millions and became the American dream. Let's dive in. The early years. Harley-Davidson's journey began in 1901 when a 20-year-old named William S. Harley drew plans for a small engine. This engine was meant to fit into a regular bike frame with a displacement of just 7.07 cubic inches. With the help of his childhood friend Arthur Davidson, they started working on their motorized bicycle in Milwaukee. They set up shop in a small machine shop owned by their friend Henry Melk. After 2 years of hard work, their first motorized bike was ready in 1903, but it didn't work as they hoped. The bike couldn't climb the hills around Milwaukee without needing pedal assistance. Although their first attempt wasn't a success, it was a valuable learning experience for the young inventors. Determined to improve, the Davidson brothers and Harley worked on a new version with a larger engine, a 24.74 cubic inch engine, and a more advanced loop frame design. They received help from Ole Evinrude, who was known for building outboard motors. By September 8, 1904, they had a prototype ready. This new model was tested at a motorcycle race in Milwaukee, where it placed fourth. From there, the team never stopped. In 1905, Harley-Davidson started placing ads in the Automobile and Cycle Trade Journal, selling just the engines, allowing others to build their bikes. By the end of the year, they were producing complete motorcycles, though still on a small scale. It was the start of something big. With each step, Harley-Davidson moved closer to becoming the iconic motorcycle brand we know today. Peak years. The brand took off during the early 1900s, but some of its most significant growth happened in the years between 1905 and 1913. In 1905, the company produced its first motorcycles in very limited numbers. Only 5 bikes were made that year. By 1906, Harley-Davidson was building its first factory on Chestnut Street, and then later on Juneau Avenue in Milwaukee. That year, the company produced about 50 motorcycles in a small 40-foot by 60-foot wooden building. The real breakthrough came in 1907 when the company made several key advancements. First, William S. Harley graduated with a degree in mechanical engineering, which helped refine their designs. The company was officially incorporated in September of that year, and their bikes began being sold to police departments. By the end of 1907, the company was making 150 motorcycles, marking a clear jump in production. This year also saw the introduction of their first V-twin engine, which gave the motorcycles more power, almost double the horsepower of the earlier single-cylinder models. If you could own any Harley-Davidson motorcycle, which one would it be? Tell us in the comments. And don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. In 1909, the production had grown to over 1,100 motorcycles. As the years went on, Harley-Davidson continued to improve its designs. In 1911, they introduced an improved V-twin engine with better performance and a new patented full floating seat in 1912, which added comfort for riders with adjustable spring tension. The company was moving from being a small operation to a full-size manufacturer. By 1913, they had built a new, much larger 5-story factory, showing just how fast the company was growing. By 1914, Harley-Davidson was dominating motorcycle races and outpacing its competitors, including Indian motorcycles. This was the time when Harley-Davidson truly solidified its position as America's leading motorcycle brand. Production numbers soared, reaching over 16,000 motorcycles in 1914. These years for Harley-Davidson were a period of incredible growth and innovation. The company had already developed a reputation, and its motorcycles were gaining recognition both on the road and in racing events. But little did they know that their next chapter would involve not just the open road, but the chaos of war. World War I. In 1917, World War I, the moment the U.S. entered the conflict, the military needed reliable transportation for their troops. Harley-Davidson was already well established and had provided motorcycles during the Pancho Villa expedition. This was the first military adoption of motorcycles, with Harley-Davidson contributing significantly alongside the British Model H, produced by Triumph Motorcycles. During the war, the U.S. military purchased over 20,000 motorcycles from Harley-Davidson to help with logistics and communication efforts. These bikes were used for a range of tasks, from delivering messages to carrying supplies. Harley-Davidson provided mobility and efficiency on the battlefield, solidifying its reputation. The Roaring 1920s. This made the brand achieve global dominance, becoming the largest motorcycle manufacturer in the world later in the 1920s, with 28,189 machines produced and dealers in 67 countries. In 1921, Otto Walker made history on a Harley-Davidson by being the first to win a race at an average speed exceeding 100 miles per hour. The 1920s saw numerous innovations from Harley-Davidson, such as the introduction of the 74 cubic inch, 1,212.6cc V-twin engine in 1921 and the iconic teardrop gas tank in 1925. In 1928, they added a front brake to their J/JD models, enhancing safety and performance. To compete with rivals like the Indian Scout, Harley-Davidson introduced the 45 cubic inch, 737cc flathead V-twin D model in 1929. This model was mocked by Indian motorcycle riders as the three-cylinder Harley because of its upright generator. Notably, in 1929, Vivian Bales captured attention by riding a D-model motorcycle over 5,000 miles across the United States and Canada, showcasing Harley-Davidson's reliability. Great Depression. As the war ended and the motorcycle business evolved, Harley-Davidson soon had to face a new battle on the home front, the Great Depression. The Great Depression hit Harley-Davidson hard. In 1929, just before the Depression began, Harley-Davidson was doing great, producing over 21,000 motorcycles. But by 1933, their sales plummeted to just 3,703 units. This sharp drop in sales was part of a larger economic downturn that affected many businesses across the country. To survive, Harley-Davidson had to get creative. They started making industrial power plants based on their motorcycle engines. They also designed a three-wheeled delivery vehicle called the Servicar, which helped businesses deliver goods. This vehicle stayed in production until 1973, showing how Harley-Davidson adapted to tough times. Despite the challenges, Harley-Davidson didn't give up. In 1934, they launched a new lineup with a flathead engine and Art Deco styling, showing that they were still innovating even during hard times. Even though the company faced financial struggles, its ability to adapt helped them bounce back. Interesting fact! Do you know Harley-Davidson was one of two major American motorcycle brands to survive the Great Depression, along with its historical rival, Indian Motorcycles? But before we move forward, we want a quick favor from you guys. If you're interested in more stories of American icons from history, hit the subscribe button right now for more exciting videos. Now back to our story. Just as the company was making a comeback from the brink of collapse, a new threat emerged: World War II. The World War II rollover saw even more significant contributions from Harley-Davidson. The company supplied the U.S. Army with motorcycles like the WLA, a military version of their popular WL model. Over 90,000 motorcycles were produced for the Army, and many were also sent to Allied forces, including the Soviet Union. This made Harley-Davidson one of the few American motorcycle companies to thrive during the Great Depression and the war. They even received 2 Army-Navy E Awards for excellence in production. One of the most interesting aspects of Harley's World War II contributions was the creation of the XA model. The U.S. Army wanted a bike with features similar to the BMW R71, which was a side-valve, shaft-driven motorcycle. Harley-Davidson adapted and created the 750cc XA, but the bike never saw full production. Only 1,000 were made. The Army had already moved towards using Jeep for general transportation, making the XA unnecessary. By the end of the war, Harley-Davidson's contributions cemented its place in American history. Post-war popularity surge. With the end of World War II, the demand for military equipment dropped. But back home, motorcycles had become even more popular for civilian use. Veterans returning home were eager to buy motorcycles, and Harley-Davidson was ready to meet the demand. The company started producing motorcycles for everyday riders. The company capitalized on this trend by producing motorcycles that could easily be used for both leisure and work. Harley-Davidson's focus on powerful, stylish, and reliable bikes helped it stand out from its competitors. The introduction of models like the Knucklehead engine in 1936 and the Flathead engines in the 1940s further cemented Harley's position as a leader in the motorcycle industry. The post-war era also saw an increase in customizations, with riders often modifying their Harleys to reflect their styles. This created a strong community of riders who saw Harley-Davidson as more than just a motorcycle brand. It was a lifestyle. During the 1950s and 1960s, Harley-Davidson continued to grow. The rise of motorcycle clubs and the popularity of movies like Easy Rider further fueled the brand's image in American pop culture, as people from all walks of life proudly rode their Harleys. In short, the post-war period was a turning point for Harley-Davidson, but their success seemed to be in danger. Decline and revival. Harley-Davidson, once the pinnacle of American motorcycling, faced a severe decline in the late 20th century. After being acquired by American Machine and Foundry, AMF, in 1969, the company underwent significant changes. AMF streamlined production and cut costs by reducing the workforce. However, this led to quality issues, and Harley-Davidson's reputation suffered. To make matters worse, Japanese manufacturers like Honda, Kawasaki, and Yamaha introduced more affordable, high-performance bikes, leaving Harley-Davidson's expensive and lower quality quality motorcycles in the dust. The company became the subject of ridicule, with names like Harley-Davidson and Hogley-Ferguson tarnishing its image. Despite the downturn, Harley-Davidson saw a glimmer of hope. In 1981, a group of 13 investors, led by Vaughn Beals and Willie G. Davidson, bought the company for $80 million. This new management team focused on improving product quality and introduced innovative technologies. They sought tariff protection from the U.S. government, which was granted in 1983. These tariffs gave Harley-Davidson the breathing room to reinvent itself. This time, instead of copying Japanese designs, Harley-Davidson leaned into its classic look, creating motorcycles that give the vintage feel of its earlier models. This retro appeal attracted new customers, and quality improvements helped rebuild the brand's reputation. Do you think Harley-Davidson's retro appeal was a smart move for the brand? Let us know in the comments! The company introduced its Softail series in 1984, which was a success because of its new suspension system. Harley-Davidson also revamped its product lineup with new models, including the iconic Fat Boy, which debuted in 1990 and became a major sales hit. Throughout the 1990s, Harley-Davidson continued to innovate, expanding its market with the introduction of models like the Dyna and Sturgis. By the early 2000s, Harley-Davidson was back on top, with sales climbing and the brand was once again a cultural icon. However, the challenges were far from over, as the company continued to navigate a changing market. The company's 100th anniversary celebration in 2003 solidified its place as a beloved American brand. The opening of the Harley-Davidson Museum in 2008 further cemented its legacy, offering fans a chance to explore the company's rich history. Despite setbacks like the 2007 labor strike and the financial crisis of 2008, Harley-Davidson persisted. The brand's resilience and ability to adapt played a crucial role in its revival. Despite ups and downs, Harley-Davidson's revival proved that sticking to its roots while embracing change was the key to success. Harley-Davidson Today. In recent years, Harley-Davidson has been adapting to changing times. While it continues to produce its classic cruisers, it's also working on new models that appeal to younger riders. The company's focusing on innovation, like introducing electric motorcycles such as the Livewire, to attract a more environmentally conscious generation. They're also expanding globally, reaching customers in countries all around the world, which shows their growing influence beyond the US. Harley-Davidson still stands for individuality. The brand has a loyal community of riders, known as the Harley Owners Group, or HOG, where members share a bond over their love for motorcycles. In addition to bikes, Harley-Davidson also offers branded merchandise, from jackets to accessories. Harley-Davidson's cultural impact. The brand's cultural impact goes beyond this. Harley has shaped American generations in many ways, especially through music, movies, and lifestyle. The Rolling Stones, Bruce Springsteen, and more have often referenced Harley motorcycles in their songs. Further, films like Easy Rider showed the world how a Harley motorcycle was more than just a ride. It was a way of life. Over time, Harley-Davidson has represented those American people who like to live life on their terms, whether it's hitting the open road or being part of a tight-knit motorcycle club. And that's how Harley-Davidson earned its title as the ultimate icon of power, performance, and unmatched quality in motorcycles. But what's next for this legendary brand? That's a question still being written on the open road. Now it's your turn. What's your favorite memory with Harley-Davidson? Maybe a road trip, a family story, or even just admiring one as it roared by. Share it in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss more nostalgic trips. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.